I am being. Period. New paragraph. Chapter ... The dream of receiving and giving energy. Period. In a nice, transparent dome in a dreamland, I and my other self are working on a process of creating and giving energy to others as a boost in order for them to become self-starters. Period. After that, they go ahead and become like us and continue on, basically passing on the technique throughout the universes. Period. We're located in the dream world, in this particular dream, on the edge of land near a somewhat choppy ocean that, instead of waves, simply has the pointy white caps. And this area, I've built a house before, and it's the same area that has become the laboratory. Period. I love the view since it's on a peninsula, and while it seems surrounded on both sides, and all three sides, or almost half of it, with an ocean, there is land. Not only that the peninsula goes back into, but also the peninsula curves around, and you can see the land about 20 miles away. In this case, it looks to the southeast. So the tip is facing west. The laboratory is pretty much right up against the edge, a transparent dome, large area. And we decided to run the tests, since we've figured out the technique, right outside where the beautiful daylight, rock and water and glass dome of the housing all meet. And we're actually on a patio area. Period. I built this house, or dreamt this house, a while back, and it's almost a modern ranch area type house, large, and has living room area that is quite spacious for almost gatherings, not of a amphitheater type, but of a elegant, more of stand around cocktail, exchange ideas in small groups of 2 or 3 with a lot of windows and amenities, and then the few multi-levels, all modern, very good feeling for me. And this particular house in another dream did have a flood area problem, but that was about a year ago, and it was going to be okay because of the way it was built, but now it's in fine shape, and we're using the area to finish up our experiments, and actually concluded the creation of how to create and, in this case, give energy to others, period. So it's nice. This could be a 5-minute movie where I am in the dream, and I have a counter self that's in the dream, and the two of us are making the energy experiment, and there's a third person in the dream that we actually at the end are teaching the process to, and in the act of showing her the process, she changes it and wants, instead of just being given the energy, she wants the energy to bounce back onto one of the people who learned the process and basically become amplified and then bounce again into her, period. The process is a slow form of small lightning that basically, once the process begins, a simple spark is given to the sternal area with a finger by me, and then in this case the woman that changed the process, the lightning forked out and it went one fork up to her left shoulder and a second fork a little bit lower in the same direction, and it was white lightning going actually slow, about 1 inch a second, and very intensely bright. Obviously, an extreme energetic process was occurring, and then at the left shoulder the process was complete, except she asked that it be returned to me, which I accepted, and then an amplification process occurred where I gave it back to her, and then she knew how to create the energy and basically go forth and teach it to others and give it to others who also would, because of the back and forth process, become teachers. And this would be a process of distributing So the end is that the process is learned, and through this basically simple technique that could be ritualized, and that only would be done because it is so fantastic, not because it's necessary, would take approximately less than a minute. And as soon as you get the energy are transformed, and basically in a flash not only understand a huge amount of knowledge and perception, you also are able to turn around and create that same living energy and pass that on to those who are willing to accept basically being energy givers, energy creators, and energy givers. And then the process continues on, and we basically witnessed a form of creation of this at the home, where apparently two of my cells created this process and passed it on to a third, who's a relative, who's a woman, and she was wearing a white blouse, nice looking, younger. I seemed male-ish, as my counterpart seemed male-ish, and the female-ish within me and the female-ish within my counterpart were apparent, but not the dominant force, whereas the first person we passed this on to was a relative, like our daughter, and she modified the whole process immediately, asking that it be transferred back and forth once in order to amplify the amount of energy, which we agreed to. And then that is the end of the, shall we say, beginning, or the process, or the experiment, or the dream, or the short video, or an actual dream, if it can be learned in the dream, would be best, or if it can be manifested in physical reality, either symbolically through a living art expression, such as a, like I say, play or ritual, or different methods, period. The interesting aspect is the actual energetic process tends to transform the individual into both an energy giver and an energy creator, and a desire to help others, and in a way that's exciting and adventurous and fun. And then the transformation that occurs with the energy transfer is basically mind expanding. So in a way it combines a lot of all the favorite aspects of what I like to see in the dream world, and or if possible manifested in physical reality. And that would be equivalent to helping people help each other, help themselves, period. The whole setting and atmosphere and dream and process is extremely uplifting, inspiring, exciting, visually stunning, caring, sharing, loving, living transfer of energy that I personally am excited to have experienced in the dream world, and able to add my contribution to finding a way to transform energy and help myself and others at the same time, period. My goal is to find a way to express what I've just described in as many ways as possible, all the way to the level of a short, it could possibly even be a 1-minute video in the form of an NFT that is sold as a artistic collection, along with the special idea that a unique photograph is connected with each individual process and sale, with the idea that this is a symbolic method of passing on the art of transforming ourselves and others through responsible integrity, growth, knowledge, learning how symbols are projected through information in order for us to reiterate and express ourselves in a spontaneous, creative, energetic, loving manner, period.